What is going on, guys? Welcome back. In this video today, we're going to take a look at PokeeClaw. PokeeClaw is basically like OpenClaw in the cloud, managed for you in a very secure way. It has an isolated environment, it has an encrypted credential vault, you have tons of applications that you can connect to, and it basically does everything for you with zero setup. I think this is a very interesting tool, so if you like this video, let me know by hitting the like button and subscribing. But now, let us get right into it. Alright, so let's get started right away. What you see on the right side is the website Pokee.ai. On the left side, you see what it looks like when you're logged in. Now, for the sake of transparency here, I need to mention this video is sponsored by Pokee.ai and PokeeClaw, so this is a sponsored paid integration. But of course, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to give you my honest review and show you what the tool can do and what not. So in general, you need to distinguish between Pokee.ai, which is the platform in general, the agent in general, and PokeeClaw, which is the OpenClaw kind of agentic helper assistant that you have here. And as I said, zero setup. So the idea is, let's close this one. Let's go right into the interface here. The idea is you click on PokeeClaw and you can just start chatting with it. You can also ask it, what can you do? What can you not do? What can I connect with you? But first of all, I want to mention a couple of points here about the security aspect. As I said, this here runs in a sandbox. So it runs in a sandbox environment. It has a sandbox architecture. It has an encrypted credentials vault. It has its isolated data storage. It has secure gateways, and you need to approve every action. So it doesn't just go off and do stuff that you're not in favor of, that you don't agree with. You have control over everything. And the reason why Pokee's API keys and OAuth are more secure in this encrypted credentials vault is because they're never stored in plain text. They are scope per user or integration, and they have a central rotation for admins. In contrast, when you use OpenClaw, you store your keys in plain text, and also with Claude Code, it basically relies entirely on the local developer's machine security. In addition to that, it connects multiple different applications. So you can go here to the authentications. You can see all the different integrations that we can use here. You can also search for them if you want to. I'm going to show you an example here in a second. But the idea is that you can connect all these applications, all these different things, all these different tools and services with one agent that manages them well. Also, this agent has a very long context window, and it's very token efficient. So it uses 70% less tokens than other agents. And as I said, zero setup is necessary. So to summarize, you have a very secure agent with lots of integrations that's very token efficient, and you don't have to do anything to get it started. So for this video here, I created a Gmail account or a Google account that I'm going to use for testing. Of course, you can also try this with your own Google account, but I want to show you here a demonstration without leaking all my emails. So the workflow that I want to show you here is a workflow where I have emails in my inbox about service requests. I want to take these emails, and depending on what the content of these emails is, I want to log the information in a Google Sheet. I want to create calendar entries if necessary, and then I want to have a summary report using Google Docs. So just to show you what this looks like, the account I'm talking about is the neural9claw@gmail.com, and I have some basic emails here, just some sample mails that I sent to myself. Essentially, the question is here, hey, I'm Mike, even though, of course, it comes from me, but ignore the sender. Hey, I'm Mike from ABC Corp. I would need a freelance DevOps engineer for 10 hours a week. And then you can see I had a conversation. I said, yes, I would charge $200 per hour, whatever works for me. Then we have another thread here, time for a call. And here I answer with, yes, I will put it in my calendar. The suggested date was April 12th and so on. And then I even have a message that's not business related. So long time no see. Hey, what's up, man? It's been a while. Want to go for drinks again, like in the good old days, just for fun. How about next Saturday at 8 p.m.? Best, John. So I have a bunch of emails here, and now I want my agent to just go through them, see if there are any service requests, lock them in a Google Sheets file with the pricing, with the deadlines, with the next steps, with who it's from, what company it's from. And then I want to also create the appointments in the calendar if I have agreed to them. So now what we want to do first here is we want to go to the authentication section, and we want to provide the access to the respective tools that we're going to use. So I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to go to Gmail Read, which is allowing the tool to read emails. So I'm going to connect with Google. I'm going to select my account, and I'm going to go and continue. So in this case, I already gave access once, so you saw this little message, but in your case, it will just give the authorization, and then it's listed here as authorized. Now we do the exact same thing here for Google Sheets, Google Docs, and also Google Calendar. So just click on connect, provide all the access that's needed, and there you go. Same with Google Docs. And then finally down here, Google Calendar. In this case, we have to grant quite a bit of permissions here. And then all of these four are connected. So PokeeClaw can now use them. Now, you can also do that in chat. You can just instruct it to do something, and then when it realizes, hey, I need to use Google Sheets, it checks for the authorization. If it doesn't have it, it's going to ask you to provide it in the chat. That's also possible, but I wanted to do it here up front to show you this use case. But again, you can just start chatting and see that it's going to prompt you anyways. All right, so let's start with the entire task at once. So again, what is my goal? Getting all the emails and logging them in a Google Sheet file, summarizing everything that we do in a Google Docs document, and then also creating the appointments in the calendar. Now, I want to have a constraint though, because I do have this casual email here. I only want to process business emails. So we say here, hi, take a look at my emails, focus on business emails only, nothing else. For every single business email, I need a row in a fresh Google Sheet. I want the columns name, which is the person name, company, which is the company name, pricing, if it's agreed upon in the email, next step, which is like an action step, and then scheduled, yes, no, just is there a calendar entry or not. And then also here, second instruction, for every appointment that I've agreed to via email, create the respective Google Calendar entry. And finally, then I also want to create a summary of the entire process that you went through in Google Docs, like a report, we could say. So I can send this now, and it's going to use the tools that I provided access to complete this task. So the first thing is it will use the Gmail read tool to get the emails and to, first of all, it asks my time zone because that's important, but then it uses PokeeGmail. As you can see, it launched the tool here, and it now will use my emails to know what to do next. So you can see it also works with to-dos behind the scenes. So it actually uses a to-do system, find all the emails, fetch all the relevant ones or identify the relevant ones, create the Google Sheet and all that. So it has this step-by-step process. Now here in this thinking part, you can already see how it processes my different emails. It says here security alerts. This is not a business mail. Then probably it also finds the casual one. It's going to say that's not in a business mail. And here it says, I got all the emails. Let me analyze them for business content, business emails identified. So we have from Jane, Lisa, Mike. We don't have the one here from John, because that is a casual one going for drinks. And here you can see the data as a table in the chat. Now, the next step is to take this data and use Google Sheets to create it. So you can see here, launched Google Sheets, created a spreadsheet, but it also needs the permission for this. So this is what I meant by this is kind of safe, or this is very safe, because what I can do now is I can provide I can give the approval. I can say yes. I can say approve all of this in this session, or I can reject. Now, in my case, I'm going to approve. And now you can see how this is populated, and it now goes on to create the calendar entries. So it creates 2 calendar entries because in 2 of these conversations, we actually agreed to an appointment to a specific date and time. So it does that now in the Google Calendar. Of course, for this, it's also going to ask for permission. So it says this was created successfully. And the final step is now to create the summary report in Google Docs. So it launches the final skill, Pokey Google Docs, and it will just write down everything that we did in this session here. And now this was also done successfully. The final thing now is to check all the to-dos and to probably give me some wrap-up message here that tells me that everything's done. There you go. All done. And the cool thing is you can see I also get links to the respective Google Sheets and everything. Now, I don't think I'll get it. I actually do get it also to the calendar, and it even created a meeting. So a Google Meet call, basically a link, which is very convenient. So what I can do now is I can either just go through my stuff myself, so go into my calendar and everything, or I can click, for example, here on Sheets. I can click on View, and this is going to open it here, or I can click on Open a New Tab. In my case, now I have this as an application. Let me uninstall that quickly so it opens in the browser. So again, I can just click on this here. This will open it in a new tab. And now I can see business email tracker, name, company, pricing, next step scheduled. You can see I get the names of the people. I get the names of the companies. I get not discussed for the pricing for this one, but we do have a call. We also have here a call with Mike, and we also have a price that we agreed upon, also with some details. And then we also have here one without a meeting. Now, if I go and take a look into my calendar, you can see that there's an event here, project call Mike ABC Corp. Probably if I go to the monthly view, I'm going to also see the other one, which is this one here, consultation call Lisa. So these 2 were created with the correct timestamp. I can also click on them. You can see there's a Google Meet link. So that is perfect. And finally, want to take a look at the doc summary. So I can click on this here. This will open Google Docs, and you can see I get a full report that tells me what we did. First, the overview, So it was about filtering the email, the business emails, and doing something with them, classifying them. Here you can also see the extracted structured output, if you want to call it that, even though it wasn't structured output. Then also the emails that were not included, like long time no see from John and the security alerts from Google. Then also the Google Sheet with the link here, also the Google Calendar events with all the links here, and then finally the summary process. And I'm not sure if it has the Google Docs link here as well, probably somewhere, not sure about this, but that is a full workflow that you can go through. Now, of course, you can extend this, you can keep chatting with it, you can do whatever you want, but also you can integrate more of these tools. So right now I just used Google's ecosystem. I can also combine it with something else. So for example, maybe you have some Trello integration that you want to work with for tasks or projects or Todoist, or you have some Notion system that you want to hook up, or you have Confluence or Jira, or maybe you have some GitHub automations that you want to work with. Another typical one would be Slack. So to have like this whole system or does this agent manage your entire system, and you always have to give approval, so you always have control, you always have the security, the credentials are also safely stored here, but this is like an all-in-one solution, easily managed, secure, and you don't have to do anything to basically run something like Pokeclaw in the cloud. Now, finally, what I also want to show you is that at some point, if you want to revoke the permissions, you can go to authentications here and easily just delete them. So you can just remove them, and then it will have to ask again in order to use them. So this is also secure. If you don't feel comfortable for whatever reason, you can just easily delete this. And of course, depending on the provider, you can do it on the site of the provider as well. So on Google, you can also revoke the permissions. On the different APIs, you can do that. But this is just how you can easily do that. So yeah, I think this is a very interesting tool. You will find a link in the description down below if you want to check it out. Click on it, sign up, play around with it. It's like Pokeclaw in a secure, zero setup way in the browser. So that's it for this video today. I hope you enjoyed it and hope you learned something. If so, let me know by hitting a like button and leaving a comment in the comment section down below. Also, of course, don't forget to check out the sponsor of this video today, PokeeClaw. You will find a link in the description down below. Make sure to check them out. You're helping the channel by doing that. And besides that, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell to not miss a single future video for free. Other than that, thank you much for watching. See you in the next video, and bye.